Let's enable your visitors to book a paid discovery call directly into your calendar using Bit Integrations. Hi, I'm Lex, a WordPress specialist by day and an educator by night. And if you want to get rid of the tedious task of checking your mail and see when a discovery is planned, then this is for you. Because we're going to improve our previous form that we made, link up there, using Bitforms to add a date and time and use Bit Integration to hook up your Google Calendar. So let's remove the extra step and dive right in. So let's first discover what Bit Integrations is. Bit Integrations allows you to connect different platforms to your WordPress website. We can connect up to 293 plugins, but also other form builders, for instance, the Bricks forms or the Elementor one. So as you can see, a lot of forms have been connected, which you can integrate with. For our use case, we're going to use the Google Calendar integration. And as you can see here, here's a detailed explanation on how to do that step by step. But don't worry, there will be a link in the description down below so you can follow the steps, and I will show you throughout this video. So let's start off with adding Bit Integrations. So we add a plugin, search for Bit Integrations, hit install and hit activate. Now we have activated Bit Integrations. I also have a pro version, so I'll be setting up that as well. Go back into our WordPress dashboard, go to plugins and add a plugin. Upload it from our file and use Bit Integration and install now. Now this video is sponsored by Bit Integrations, so that's why we'll be using their plugin. Let's hit activate. Let's go to Bit Integrations and hit license, and then we can connect up with one-click connection. And license key has been successfully activated. We first want to select a trigger. We're going to use the form that we have created, discovery call. Then the action that we want to do. We want to schedule something in our Google Calendar, but we still need to set it up. So let's follow the steps that the documentation has. I like to do it side by side, so it's easier for me to see what I need to do. So first, the integration of the Google Calendar. We need to authorize the Google Calendar integration. It has the name, and we need to open up the Google Cloud Console. So let's do that. So we go to our projects. I already have some projects, so I can add a new project. Test Bit Integration. The organization you can leave as default. Then you hit create. Now we'll create our test project and we can select it right away. And then we get this section. So now we have the warning that we need to configure the consent screen. So we click that and then we hit get started. The app name will be Bit Integrations. Support email is my email that I use for Google Cloud. In audience, you select external and then you click next. For the contact information, you can add your details in here. Click next again. And then select I agree, then continue and create. Now we'll start creating and configuring the consent auth for our platform. Next, we need to go to clients and we will create a client. The type of client that we want is the web application. In here, we can fill in Bit Integration. Then we add a URI that we can be found in our integrations tab. So this is the home page. And we add the redirects. That's the second one, the authorized URLs that you can see right here. We copy and paste that in and hit create. Now in here we have the client ID and the secret. This is a secret that you should not share, so be aware of that. Then we copy this and paste it in our client right here. And then we copy this one and paste it right here in the client secret. And then we hit authorize. Then we can set which account should be connected. I won't do my Lex text reviews. We forgot to do one thing, so that's something that we need to do now. We go to APIs and services and search for Google Calendar. Here we have it. Then we click that one and hit enable. Then we go to all auth consent screens, then the clients, and this is the one that we just created. Then we go to data access, then we add or remove scopes, and we search for the Google Calendar API and we'll add every scope there is. So we can select them all. And we have selected every scope. We hit update and the scopes have been added. Now, what's not mentioned in documentation is that inside of our audience, we need to add a test user, and that will be, in this case, my email address. Hit save. And when it's added, we can go to authorize, select my email address that I'm testing with, and hit continue. And then let's continue again. And now the registration has been successful. So now we can select the calendar and then our time zone. So let's select Amsterdam. Date and time to map. We select the date, time, and the end. Then we hit next, and then we hit finish and save. And then the connection has been added. So next, what we need to do is change our Bitform Pro to be able to select a starting date and automatically calculate the end date and time. So let's do that next. So this is the form that we created previous time. It allows users to fill in their information, then select a consultancy and do a payment before we go into our consultancy call. But we want to make sure that people can select their date and time that's convenient to them. So let's go back to Bitforms, go to Bitforms Pro and enter our form. Let's add an advanced date and time, and let's add another one. Make sure that we have a minimal date of 1 day, because I don't want people to schedule something today, but from tomorrow onwards. Let's also change the dynamic date. It says days before, and we put that to -1 because we don't want it to be before today. We want it to be after today, where people can start scheduling. And I want to have a 24-hour format because I'm Dutch. So that's our starting point. Then we duplicate that one, just to make our lives a little bit easier, and I remove the previous one. And for the date time format value, we need to select this one so that we can actually see our date and time value changing. So let's also see the one, it's the YMDHI. And we can hit update. And then when we preview our form, we see that we can schedule now something. But if we change a time, you see that the end time is not changing. Let's also make it clear that it's the end time. So let's go in here and say end, date, time, end, because then we know that this one should have the value when it's ending. Then go to settings, conditional logics, open this one up, and here we have consultation set to equal to the 60-minute strategy call, which is valued at 175. And we want to add another one. So when this form is selected, the unfold daytime, and it's not null. When it's not null, it does mean it's not empty or has no value. And what we then want to do is select our advanced date end, and then we want to set our value. We want to add up the 60 minutes for our strategy call. And the way you do that is by using a function. A function can be found in this list, and we scroll all the way down until you see the add or subtract date time. We select that one, go in here, and then we want to have our starting date. Our starting date is, of course, the start date time that's set there. Then we want to add up 60 and minutes. So this is how much of units, and this is the kind of units. So in this case, 60 minutes. And when we hit save and we update our page, we can see that nothing is changing. But if we select the 60 minutes, it will update to have 60 minutes in the future. Now that we have done that for the 60-minute call, let's also do that for the 30-minute call. So we'll put an and in there when this is not null. So when it's not empty, we will change the end date to value and add the function, because we want to add or subtract something to the date. And instead of 60 minutes, we want to add 30 minutes. So let's select our starting point, 30, minutes. Hit update. Let's check our form on the front end. And if we change the value right now, you see that now the end time will have 30 minutes. But we can't change it to whatever value we'd like to. And we don't want that now, do we? So let's go back into our builder and make changes to this field. and make sure that it's not visible. So we set it to hidden. Also, we need to change from the currency. We don't want it to be disabled. We want it to be enabled. In the previous video, I showed you that I made this disabled, but we need to change that. And in as a label, I want to make it a little bit user friendly. So we type in schedule date and we hit update. Now let's try everything out and see how everything is working, right? We'll type in Lex at Techies.review. We have a 30-minute discovery call. This is a test and we'll select a end date. So far, so good. And if we selected the 30-minute call, we see that we can go to PayPal. And if we fill in our credentials, we see that we have a payment ready for $100 US. Good so far. Next step would be that we schedule this. And because we already set up the integration, we only need to hook up the form itself. So we first select our discovery call, and then we see the fields that we have active. We want to have the schedule date as the starting date and the advanced end time as our end time. Then I would suggest to also add in to tell us a bit about the project as a description, and as a title we can fill in the name. Now I also want to set a reminder of 5 minutes so that we, before the event happens, that we see something, and then we hit update. Now this is connected to our Google Calendar and ready to be scheduled. Let's get back to our form and try it out. I don't want to go through the old payment process right now. So what I do is add a button and click on button type for submit. Then let's update. And if we go to our page and we say test, hello at Techies.review. This is a test, and let's schedule something for tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Hit a button. And if we look at my calendar, we see that something is scheduled for tomorrow. It's a test with a description of this is a test. And there we go. That's how easy it is to connect a Bitform form with Bit integrations to your calendar. But before you go into the discovery call, you also want to have maybe a questionnaire that people can fill in. And if you want to see that, watch this video next and hit subscribe so you don't miss out. And as always, keep designing.